Alright, now we're gonna get mired in controversy. This is my most controversial take yet. Femboys are straight, actually. Ha ha! Ha! You see? Foaming at the mouth already. This should not be this controversial of a take. So I remember when I was younger, people would try to like freak you out, right? When you're a young dude, people try to freak you out. I actually had a friend who was gay and was very much sort of like an LGBT ally, and he showed me like a picture of a trans woman and was like, "Would you have sex with her?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to." And he was like, "Well, that's a trans woman." And I was like, "Which could you explain more?" Because I didn't understand the concept fully at the time, right? And he was like, "Well, they were born a man." I'm like, "Oh, it's a dude?" And he was like, "Well, no, it's a trans woman." And I was like, "Right, but like the point you're trying to get at is like you're trying to scare me with like the surprise it's a dude, sort of an aspect of it, right? You're not trying to pick one." And then he told me that, and I was like, "Okay, so what? I don't care. She looks like a woman to me." I'm like, "Does she talk like a woman?" He's like, "Yeah, she's got a pretty feminine voice." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine." He's like, "It doesn't freak you out? Doesn't freak you out at all that she used to be a man?" I'm like, "No, that does not in fact bother me." I guess I can understand why it might bother some people, but I've never really had those kinds of rules going on. In general, whatever the little thing people have in their brain is that keeps them from something, I tend not to have I don't have the thing that makes you believe in God. I don't have the thing that makes you not fuck your sister. I don't have the little thing. I don't have whatever that little normal pro-social thing is that everybody has. I don't have the thing that makes you not cross-dress, that makes you not be weird, makes you not dress like a furry in high school. Whatever that thing is, I don't have it. I don't have the thing that makes you not say slurs in the hallways. I'm very open, I'm very free in a lot of ways. I don't have those social norms, none of those civilized manners. They bounce off of me for whatever reason, and so for that reason, I've never had any problem with the possibility of myself being gay, despite lots of men clearly being very uncomfortable with it. Always been pretty naturally okay with whatever my sexuality ends up being. In the years since then, I've had sex with trans men, trans women. I sucked many cis dudes and penises. Didn't mind it. Didn't mind any of it, really. The cis dude part, not really into the dude. Not really into the dude part. The penis is kind of nice. Kind of okay on its own. If it's large. Large is size does matter, but only to me. Not really into the dude part. Plus, I could kind of see myself from the third person performing the act, and I didn't like that. I didn't like the self-image of me doing it, because I idealize what I've watched online, what I've watched in porn, and what I've watched in porn is like, women having sex with men. Because I'm generally, I do not identify as gay or bi, and I don't watch gay porn. I've never fantasized about men, at least not frequently, and it's not my speed. Like, I've clicked on it and gone, and then clicked away. Just not into it. So trying in practice to sleep with men, even if I might like the image of the penis, right? Because I like the image of the penis in straight porn, so I've sort of fetishized the image of the large penis. Even if I might like that, I'm too self-aware. I'm too self-aware of how I look the fat, the hair, the being a dude-ness of it all. And I'm too self-aware of how he looks and the combination of it from a third-person perspective and from picturing the voyeur of me and him. I don't like it. It grosses me out. And it takes away any pleasure I could get from it. I also have never enjoyed any kind of intimacy with a dude, despite the level of sexualness. I've never kissed a dude. I've never been soft or tender with a man. And it's just, I'm not into it, you know? The way that I'm into women is much more deep, much more full, and I would date a woman. I would never want to date a man. Believe me, if I could become, like, perfectly bisexual, like 50-50 bisexual, I would do it in a heartbeat. Widen that dating pool, baby. I'd have a boyfriend by now. That would change my life if I could date in the gay men's dating scene, which I feel is probably much easier to navigate than the straight men's dating scene. So no insecurity is my point. No insecurity about my sexuality here. So you're not gonna trip me up. You're not gonna trip me up with this, oh, you're just insecure about the possibility that you might be gay. For all intents and purposes, for the purpose of this video, let's say that I am. Let's just say that I am. I'm 100% gay. I'm into men. No concern. No concern here over that. And now let's talk about the issue at hand from that perspective. Typically, feminist-minded people, LGBT allies, the official stated position is that femboys are gay because it's very important to get across to as many men who have ever flirted with the idea of being attracted to a femboy in passing. It's very important to shatter their gay panic. It's important to make them go, oh, am I gay? No, I'm not gay. It's important to shatter that so that they, lose their homophobia, I suppose. That's the official position. But that is dumb. That is dumb and short-sighted. Because obviously, and this has been said by a million insecure men, but I'm going to say it. Obviously, femboys don't look like men. That's the whole point. That is what a femboy is defined by, is that they don't look like men. And it should be noted that most people, let's say straight men, who are into femboys, the way that they're into femboys is not that they've met a number of feminine men in the real world in their life that they're attracted to. That's not how it's gone. What they're attracted to is anime porn. What they're attracted to is an animated character that is drawn to look in every aspect exactly like not just a woman, but the ideal, conventionally attractive woman. And then they just stick a little pee-pee on there. They just stick a little pee-pee in the mix. That's it. That's what they're attracted to. And, of course you'd be into that. I mean, having done a bit of both worlds, I can tell you, here's another thing that people like to say is like just the insecurity of straight men. Okay? Vaginas, pussy, alright, pussy, rancid. Rancid. I can say that, okay? Because I have both eaten pussy and sucked dick. I've done it all, baby. And I think I've earned the right to say that it's a different ball game, alright? Pussy has secretions. It secretes. And those liquids have a flavor. And the flavor is fleshy. And it can be massively improved by showering and taking care of yourself. Of course it can, okay? But it's just not as completely immutable as dick. Because a freshly showered dick can be completely flavorless right up until the end. Right? So let's say that. So there's most straight men, you talk to a straight man, you ask a straight man, they're not exactly excited about pussy. right? Right? You talk to a straight dude, like there's a reason the question is, are you a tits man or an ass man? And not, are you a pussy man? Right? Like that's not one of the features that men typically think about or sexualize. Straight men who are into women are not primarily attracted to their vaginas. That's not the part that straight men are into about them. It's also the case, and this is something that straight men might be a little bit insecure or uncomfortable about. Men are the primary consumers of particularly visual forms of pornography, particularly the mainstream ones that you would see on a site like Pornhub, right? They're the primary consumers, and there's a very clear demographic preference for big dicks. Men like looking at big dicks for one reason or another. You know, maybe it's our attitudes towards masculinity, maybe it's our own insecurities. We've decided that we believe on some level that women are into big dicks and that thus big dicks are better. So dudes look at big dicks all day, every day. Nowadays, in the age of internet porn, from a very young age, they look at penises. They look at penises and attractive women. It shouldn't be particularly surprising, given straight men aren't super into vaginas or pussies. I'm actually using the word pussy for woke reasons, because I know that the vagina is just a component and that it's not accurate to refer to the entirety as the vagina. So I'm actually using the word pussy to be woke right now, just so you know. Yeah, so given they're not into pussies, but they do have at least some degree of socialization or familiarity with dicks, it makes sense that dudes would maybe prefer this idealized woman, but then just put a little penis on there. Put a little penis on there so you don't have to look at the pussy so much. And that actually kind of makes sense. There's other angles, you know, maybe there's like a domination kink sort of a thing going on, where like it feels good to make weak men submit to your strong manliness, right? Puts you on top, rah, you know, something like that. There's an angle to that. But I think in general, the simple explanation is really that straight men are attracted to whatever looks like what they think of when they think of a woman. And a femboy looks like what they think of when they think of a woman, so they're attracted to them. That's really the simple answer. And when you ask gay men aren't into femboys so much. You know, maybe some gay men are into like, you know, maybe feminine twinks or something like that, right? But typically, gay men are into men, right? That's their defining characteristic, is that they're sexually attracted to men. And so they tend to look for traits that display maybe not hypermasculinity, but masculinity. They look for traits that display that the person that they're looking at is a man. So, of course, gay men are going to be less likely to be attracted to femboys, especially less likely to be exclusively attracted to femboys, like most straight men are. So, yeah, femboys, liking femboys is straight, not gay, as much as some people want to emphasize the gayness to make all the men all insecure. You know, oh, you're very fucking clever. This debate about, like, are femboys gay, is also sort of a spiritual successor to two of my previous videos as well, the Futanari Ubermensch and the Gay Straight and the Reason Why, or even the I Escaped the Non-Binary Rabbit Hole video. I'll put all three of those in this video for you to go back and watch. There is a definitional conflict between the scientific understanding of what sexual orientation is and how it works, where it is fixed and innate and you do not get to choose. You are born gay, or you are born straight, or maybe you're born bisexual. I'm not trying to oust the bisexuals at the moment here, right? And that comes with a certain set of traits, obviously, that you're looking for to determine the person you're attracted to, right? Because otherwise, how would you know innately that you're gay or that you're straight? And so that comes with this certain set of traits. And so there are all these definitional conflicts between the sort of woke definitions of people, right? Within the woke definition, if you're attracted to a femboy, then you're gay, because a femboy is still a guy. And so take that, insecure men. If you're into femboys, you are gay. But then within the same, like, woke structural dichotomy or whatever, if you're attracted to a trans woman, as a straight man, you're straight, because to say otherwise would be to imply the invalidation of the trans woman's identity as a woman. And so a man attracted to a trans woman is a man attracted to a woman and is thus heterosexual. We could make this a lot easier if we all just stopped being so tight and rigid on the terminology here, and simultaneously stopped being so insecure about gender and sexuality. If we were all just comfortable living in a world where people are attracted to what they're attracted to, maybe this wouldn't be a constant definitional conflict between sort of woke language choices and the innate sexual orientation that people experience. And that's why femboys are straight.